a 60-foot section here that I've painted blue. I don't know if you can see. It's got to come down a couple inches in the ditch line. It's high. I seen it was high last night. The distance of the back of this building, 400 feet basically, it doesn't have very much fall to it for that distance. Okay, anybody who grades ditches or anything, that is not, it's just not a lot to work with, right? So this swale that is dug on the opposite side of the building, it has to be lower than the building, for one, and then it has to slope away from the building, for two. And everything's good except this area right here that was just very hard packed. It is kind of just level with the building, so I got to take that swale down a little bit, and then I'm going to pop a couple more inches off, maybe 2 inches. It's not much to add down there. Pipes were not set on this job, and I run into this all the time. And if you're in excavating or drainage, I am sure that you see this. The culverts, inlets, outlets, or whatever, they are almost like they were set incorrectly, because just the pitches don't make sense. I mean, there's literally, you have one rain and something clogs up your ditch line, then you got a wet spot. They don't leave. It's almost like they don't leave enough room for, what's right. Like why is it low against the building to begin with? When you have the area here that you don't have to do that. I mean, you just didn't have to. You could have not done that, is what I'm saying. You could have graded it high against the building, and cut you a V-ditch all the way down through here when you had a dozer. When a dozer was on site, backfilling, rough grading, everything. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I would think that would be the way it goes. Now, like I said before, I'm not a builder. I don't know I really don't know what all goes into building a job when it comes to huge site work projects like that. I have an idea just from being in pipe trades, but I can't speak on it because I've never actually done it. So, but that's the way it goes in my head. See, I got to cut back very little bit, and it's almost like I want to cut it with the bucket a little bit, and then I want to fine tune it with the blade and the skid steer. And like I was saying the other day, all those hidden rip-rap rocks that are in everything back here from how they backfilled it's a nightmare to regrade. Learning thing on this job, it hasn't been terrible, but I think a smarter way that I could have had less machine time, which, I don't mind being on the machine. A long time is part of it, but I probably would have brought in a couple single axles and just had them dump along the sides of the building, because you could just grade out a single axle in 15 minutes or whatever. You don't have to keep cutting and keep going back and forth and trying to make this rip-rap clay stuff look nice. But the reason I didn't do it was because this is the back of the building. Nobody's coming back here, but the mowing guy wanted it easier to maintain, because it was a nightmare before, if you look at the other videos. And I don't blame him. I mean, commercial mowing maintenance that's a task. But yeah. So we'll just keep doing this, and I'll use all this dirt to fill in down there at that last little bit. When it gets to be get stuff and not in traffic. It's 7:09 right now. I gotta get the 1-inch river rock. I'm gonna grab 6 tons of it, the dump trailer. Hook my fabric 2 foot from the building, off of the building 2 foot. That's the distance off the building I'm supposed to put it just to match everything else. And they put their rat traps there. So, and I gotta get seed, and I gotta get straw mat rolls. Which those places are right next to each other. It's not a huge deal, but I wasn't going to sit around till 7:30 when I know I had about a couple hours of work here. And I'll wait till traffic dies down to go get that stuff and just keep moving and get all my fabric cut. It made sense. I was at the shop early this morning, getting my trailer ready, getting tools ready. That's what you got to do. You got to work late, get up early when you have the time. You don't have your kiddo. Start to dark. Whatever you got to do. How tired you are, it doesn't, get it done. And it might rain today, so that's going to throw a whole nother ordeal if it does, which I don't know. The weather could be wrong, but when I looked at it earlier, it said rain. I have this, like most people, you can hear him. I have had this cough for I don't know how long, and I don't know if it's just because we've had a extremely dry fall season. Georgia's first year in the big school, kindergarten. She's sick all the time. And man, I have kept this cough. One of those little rocks. I've kept this cough. It's only went away for a little bit here and there. I know a lot of other people the same way. Everybody, they got a little something going on. A little something, cough, sneezing, runny nose, whatever. Everybody's got a little something. School, man. Jesus. She was in preschool. And she didn't really, she got sick, but she didn't it wasn't constantly. It's, ever since we started, kindergarten, it's a big school, it's elementary school. It is. I can count the days that she's been well versus the days that she's been just, it's a fever, and you go to the doctor and they don't really do anything because they test her for all the stuff, right? They test her for strep, COVID, flu, etc. I mean, they test her for everything, and she never has anything. It's always just a viral infection, and they don't really give you any medicine for that. I think they gave her antibiotics one time. They've given her some cough syrup, but it's basically like, hey, you gotta just wait, give them Tylenol, Motrin as needed, and I take care of her, pretty much by myself 50% of the time, which is great. I'm not complaining about that. I'm just saying, it's not so much fun. You want to do stuff with a kid, you want to take them out. I didn't realize that it would be this way. Last year was so great. We did all kinds of stuff. It's like every time I have her now, she's sick, and we're just chilling. We can go outside and play, but I'm not going to take her around other kids and other people and get them sick. That's not the way I roll. But yeah, never stop learning stuff. That's something that I have learned. You hear people And it's one of those things too, you hear people say it. Oh man, your kids are in school, they're sick all the time. You know, and I was like, is this normal? And the doctors are, yeah, unfortunately. So, alright, I think that's probably enough ranting. I don't know if that's a rant as much as I am just talking while I operate. I've had a lot of coffee. But, I'll catch back up with you guys in the daylight, probably. Not trying to come off like a vampire. Yesterday ended with a track coming off on the skid loader that rolled to the inside of the rollers. And then it started to rain. And it's been raining ever since, besides for maybe a couple hours. But too wet to go back to the job and finish up. So I'm going to go work on the house I bought. And man, it's going to have to dry out for a couple days. So probably go back over to that site Sunday. And it's unfortunate, but we are entering this time of year. We've had our dry spell, and it's probably going to have to deal with this type of stuff on and off from here to, well, probably for quite some time. So anyways, I'll follow up on if the drainage worked, if it got in the building, etc. in the next video. So we'll see y'all soon.